Okay, good evening. Again, I'd like to call the county board tonight to order. And if please, can you call roll?
Atkins, Crawford,
Here.
Goddard,
Here.
Graff,
Here.
Hall,
Here.
Harris,
Here.
Hopkins,
Here.
Josting,
Here.
Longfellow,
Here.
Mennel,
Here.
Milan,
Here.
Mingus, Nelms, Frail, Rich Tenson,
Here.
Schmidtgall,
Here.
Schneider,
Here.
Sen,
Here.
Stahl,
Here.
Stump,
Here.
Woodrow,
Here.
Chairman Grimm.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Alright, we may rise for the invocation of pledge of allegiance. Lord, as we come before you this evening, we thank you so much for all the blessings in our life, the opportunities that we have to serve you, to serve others, and the things that you've done for us. We're extremely grateful. We're thankful for your son. We're thankful for the fact that he died on the cross for our sins, that we may have a place of salvation. Please watch over and protect us as we try to make decisions tonight and as we go forth for the people of Tazewell County. Please be with us and keep us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. I know that even with the microphone, sometimes I tend to talk too soft, so don't ever hesitate to tell me to speak up. It's not a problem. I understand. So, with that, if we can move on to communications from members of the public and county employees. Is there anybody? All right, and then we can move on to our presentation, the City of Washington Bicentennial Committee. Would you please come forward?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. We did that one, yeah. Oh, hold up a second, guys.
Okay. Sorry, I was late. First meeting, I figured I'd skip you to start with.
I was going to congratulate you right off. My name's Elton Rokie, and I'm with the Tazewell County Stop and CO2 Pipeline. First thing I'd like to do is congratulate our new chairman, our newly elected board members, and our re-elected board members. So, off to a good start, it seems like, for a new year. Thought I'd give you a little update on the CO2, and I'm the same way with the hearing aids. Sometimes I talk too loud, sometimes I'm too quiet, so you need to talk up and say the word. We've been waiting for several years now for the Federal Pipeline Administration, Safety Administration to come out with their new rulings. They came out with them, they issued them on the 19th, and they took them back on the 20th. Now, they've never put them into the Federal Register, so they could do that. But I don't know if there's gonna be changes made, if they're gonna be done away with or not. The list I've seen, there's 347 pages of nothing. I've never seen so much fluff and no bite in a program. Most of it's just, we suggest you do this, we recommend you do this, and it's all self-policing. The companies have to report back if they did it or didn't do it, how they did it. The few exceptions with the depth of the pipeline, they're gonna require 48 inches to the top of the pipeline, 48 inches of the cut. Beyond that, not much of anything. Like as you know, our pipeline that was gonna come from Iowa to Decatur is dead in the water now. They finally, that was the Wolf pipeline, they finally pulled the Iowa portion of that. They're not seeking any permits on that now. As far as the Alta one, I'm not sure where we're at. And then, as you've heard, Ambient is going to open a methanol plant down in Hannah Drive here in the city of Pekin, which it looks like that we're going to have competition for that CO2 out of Alta now, because I don't think they've got enough landfill and making the methanol, which the methanol brings up to But, what we're finding out now, one of the real risks is to our aquifers. Now, these aquifers have been designated as sole source water supplies. There's no way they can ever replace them if they get contaminated. So most of the opposition groups now, that's what they're fighting for. Let's don't ruin our aquifers. There's almost 1 million people rely on the Muhammad aquifer. And if that thing gets contaminated, we're out of business. I mean, you can't haul enough water. You can't replace it. So that's one of the things we're really trying to fight now. Another thing is when they're putting this CO2 down in briny solution, any of you that are familiar with the pH scale, the higher you go, the more alkaline, the lower you go, the more acid. When you mix carbon with briny solution, it actually lowers the pH to the point where it becomes a carbonic acid. Now that's highly, it'll affect the pipes, it'll rust the pipes out. It'll also, the cap rock that they say is down there is supposed to protect that CO2 from migrating. It'll eat that up eventually too. So these companies are just, they're after this money from the government. The Inflation Reduction Act, they boosted that up from the CO2 being worth $10 a metric ton to $85 a metric ton to make it a viable program. So I think it's time for the county here to put their foot on the ground and say we've had enough. We've got a number of counties in the area. In fact, Champaign last week voted to put a no drilling for Class 6 wells in or around the aquifer. A definite moratorium for 1 year, and they're going right back to work and they're going to make it permanent. So we've got 4 or 5 more counties looking at that, and I'm looking forward to going to the land use committee meetings and talking to the guys there and see if we can come up with something. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Rose. All right, now that Greg comes to speak, I'm sorry guys, would you like to come on up and do your presentation?
Well, thank you for allowing us to speak tonight. We are part of the Washington Bicentennial Committee that's part of subcommittee of the Washington Historical Society. And we got Jennifer Essig, Sharon Algo, Claire Sonder, John Ambrose, and Gary Manier. And so we're happy tonight that all of you should have received a gift bag that we're happy to give out to tonight. And our Washington community members received a postcard in the mail where they could come and pick up their own bag as kind of a kickoff celebration that started it out in December. And so the job of the Bicentennial Committee is to promote and coordinate other people's events to make our celebration big. So if our celebration is successful, we feel that many people will participate in many variety of activities throughout the community for our Bicentennial of 2025. I got 2 people I'd like to also have talk tonight and I'll introduce you tonight. And first two are our Washington's mayor for nearly 4 years is Gary Manier, and then he's representing the city of Washington. And then also we have a direct descendant of William Holland, who founded Washington in 1825, and they can tell you a little bit more about Washington's history. So first up is Mayor Manier, please.
Thank you and good evening. Chairman Grimm and distinguished board members, thanks for allowing us to take a few minutes this evening to promote Washington and our bicentennial. Whereas the first settlement in Washington was made in 1825 by William Holland Sr., who came from Fort Clark in Peoria and was employed by the United States government as a blacksmith and North American Indians who lived in the area. The area was first referred to as Holland's Grove. In 1834, William Holland Sr. laid the original town of Washington out around Main Street, heavily timbered, which was used to be one of the first structures. And in 1849, William and Jane Holland and David and Hannah Kays donated property known as Glendale Cemetery to be used as a public cemetery, which now has grown to 33.5 acres. Whereas land, timber, grain, coal, and stock businesses were responsible for the wealth in early Washington. In 1847, a young Abraham Lincoln defended 2 Underground Railroad conductors from Washington and Metamora in the Tazewell County Courthouse, which resulted in the dismissal of their charges. And in 1903, the Washington Historic Downtown Square was paved with brick, a new water fountain installed in the center of the square, and a bandstand was dedicated to its residents. Whereas in 2007, Washington opened a community center focused on the well-being by its residents by uniting 5 individual organizations, including the Washington High School, Washington City of Washington, the Washington Library, the Washington Park District, and the Washington Area Community Center. And whereas Washington endured a defining moment in a devastating EF4 tornado that impacted 1,108 homes and businesses in 2013. Demonstrating the resilience and determination of our citizens to our city recovered, rebuilt, and emerged stronger. And whereas Washington will celebrate its bicentennial with a special celebration of events that will take place from August 4th through August 23rd, 2025. Now therefore, I, Gary W. Menier, Mayor of the City of Washington, Illinois, proclaim 2025 as Washington, Illinois Bicentennial Year. We would like to urge all residents and communities of the surrounding areas to join in honoring the legacy of our founder, our resilience through our diversity, and a bright future that lies ahead. Thank you.
Bicentennial Committee, as well as the great-great-great-great-granddaughter of William Holland, the founder of Washington. I'm happy to be here this evening to tell you just a little bit about the things that we've been working on for Washington's 200th birthday. Our committee has been working with various Washington organizations, businesses, schools, churches, and community members to get everyone involved in our celebrations. There will be events happening throughout the year, and from August 14th through the 23rd, we'll have multiple events, including a parade, concerts, an art fair, a car show, and even a vintage tractor pull. We also have bicentennial merchandise that includes things like shirts, a hat. We have a hat here for the new chairman. We also have them for sale, if anybody wants to get one. You can find information on where you can get any of our merchandise in your bag. I think we've got information on all of it. We have merchandise, like I said. We've got a wine that was produced right in Washington. We have our winery, Tres Rajo. So we'll have that, and we have our bicentennial popcorn, and I think you have that in your bag. That also, coincidentally, is made in Washington Holland's popcorn, which is a cousin of mine, and also a descendant of William Holland. So we're not giving up on that town. So, like I said, you have a sample in the bag of the popcorn. And also you'll find a QR code in there that will take you to a website that'll tell everything that's happening. That's going to constantly be updated as we add things or change things. So, you know, maybe check it every so often and see if anything has changed or whatever. And we have a Facebook page so you can find information on that. So, like I said, thank you for letting us be here this evening. I hope all of you are able to join us in at least one, if not more, of our bicentennial celebration activities. Thank you.
There is another committee member here that John Ackerman also serves on the Bicentennial Committee.
Who?
Maybe I should have said that.
Thank you all very much for coming. Wish you guys much success this year during the events. Thank you for coming. Moving on, we go to communications from elected and appointed county officials. Is there anybody who'd like to speak?
I wanted to let the county board members know, our vendor Fiddler had their awards ceremony again this year, and the county clerk staff came away with two awards. One for the most enrollees into the Veterans Honor Rewards Program within the state of Illinois, and the other for the most new registers into the Property Fraud Alert Program. The employees really worked hard this year to drive both of those programs, particularly the Honor Rewards, the Veterans Program. So this is really a contribution to their work of talking to people when they came in to vote, talking to them when they came into the office for any of the other services, and making sure, trying to increase the awareness of the program in the community. We earned this year over 100 new business partners, local businesses that are giving giving discounts to veterans and members of the military, which is advertised on that website for the Honor Rewards Program. So they really stepped up the effort this year. It is the third year that we've received one of their rewards. It's the second year we've had two of them. Not everybody was walking out of that room with any of them. So to get two is really shows the work the employees did. When you think of our size versus Cook County, DuPage County, the other counties that are in the state of Illinois, to have the most new enrollees in both of these programs, I think it speaks volumes. The Property Fraud Alert, for me, was more important because, as some of you are aware of, I think all of you are actually aware of, sadly we did have our first case of a property fraud incident within this Tazewell County. Previously it had not hit our county, it had been in southern Illinois and other parts of the United States. But this is the fastest growing white collar crime in the United States. It's identified by the FBI. So having our residents protected by this program really, to me, is something of importance. So we're very proud of those. I just wanted to make sure I brought them in so that you guys knew about them and were aware of them. And please, when you see the employees, this is their rewards because they really worked hard all year to make sure that they were driving those numbers. So please give them their congratulations.
We could please move on to approve the minutes of the November 20th and December 2nd meetings. May I have a motion? Motion by Max, second by Mr. Stahl. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This evening we have an in-place exec committee meeting. Sandy, please call roll.
Chairman Grimm?
Here.
Vice Chair Harris?
Here.
Atkins? Crawford?
Here.
Hall?
Here.
Ghosting?
Here.
Minow?
Here.
Dingus? Trail? Schneider?
Here.
Sin?
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. As so often happens, we had just a couple things come up here since our executive meeting, so this is our item that we need to get on for approving the class action settlement against PISA. I get a motion to bring it on the floor. Motion by Harris, second by Jay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Yes, so the timing of this, we just got notified by the Illinois State Board Association of County Board Members of this. It's a $5.54 billion suit that's being resolved. And as a county that collects the credit card fees, we could join it. The timing of it is we have to apply to be a part of it by next Tuesday. So that is why it become a in-place committee item. And so this has been in the works for quite some time, and it's due to the claim of MasterCard and Visa violating antitrust laws with imposing excessive fees. At this point, I don't have any kind of estimate on how many, the amount of funds that we could receive. I've heard potentially 5 figures, some even potentially 6 figures, but it just depends on how many people participated and how it ultimately ends up getting divvied out. So with just that limited information, I thought it was at least worthwhile to bring forward and see if it's something the board would like us to go forward with.
Mr. Harris?
What happened? What caused the class action suit, and were we involved?
It would be with them collecting the credit card fees, so as collecting fees from customers that buy different products within the county, from treasurer's office, circuit clerk's office, different places. There's fees that get charged to the customers, and so this is
was part of what determined that they violated antitrust laws by having excessive fees that they were charging. And so it ranged from the 2004 to 2019 period.
Anybody else? When it comes out. If no other on exec, I believe I kind of rushed that last time by asking for my votes, so I apologize if there's anybody that doesn't want to let me know, but otherwise, we've already approved it. So, then we'll be out of exec. Moving on to the consent agenda. Item 14 is going to be pulled.
Number one.
Number 1.
21.
21. Alright, if no others, if I can get a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Motion by John, second by Russ. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Alright, item number 1, Mr. Simmons.
Do a motion first.
Motion for that.
Motion.
Motion, second by Mike.
Question is, so it's approved 2 tandem trucks. I was reading the minutes and stuff like that, there might be 3 tandem trucks. I've never seen us do more than 1 tandem truck a year. And I was disappointed in trade-ins. I know we value our trucks and take good care of them, and that's what makes the whole program sing, is the trade-in. And I guess I was wondering if the guys found out even to the meeting out why the trade-ins were so low, and then I kind of read the minutes, understanding a little bit about why the 2 trucks and maybe 3 this year, so I would wish Dan or Greg would comment on that, please.
Would like to comment? Okay.
Yeah, I'll take it, and then if I can, I'll let Dan weigh in. But, we got behind on our truck purchases, starting with COVID and the supply chain issues. We were ordering trucks and it was taking a year, maybe more to get. And we just got way behind, so we budgeted 3 trucks this year. One of them that we bid last February, I believe, still isn't ready to go. So that one we'll be getting that and paying for that sometime soon. I think the normal thing would be to have a truck for about 10 years, and we were like, well, one of them is several years old, more like 14, I think, years old. And so, and we have had some issues with the engines in these trucks. They were some of the first engines that had to have more emissions put on them, and so they don't even make them engines anymore. But anyway, so we bid 2 trucks to try and maybe catch up, and we don't know if they'll be here this year or not, but to catch up. So it's possible that we could buy 3 trucks this year, but we don't know. I mean, we don't know when them others will arrive. So the trade-in issue, the engines are not good, so the dealers don't really want them. In fact, we had 3 bids, 3 competitive bids. One of the bids had no trade-in back. They didn't even want the truck. So what we got, I think we should be happy with and go for it. But the money's in the budget under the estimate. So if you have any other specific questions, I'll let Dan speak to it. But otherwise.
Alright, any other questions?
So what he's really saying is a supply chain and a timing issue, that's it.
And all those in favor favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Moving on to item 14, this is just an exec. Can I get a motion to get on the floor? Motion by Max, second by Jay. John, will you have a question?
My only question was, if we receive funds from this or when we do, does that come to the county or we're collecting them for those who paid it and then issuing it to them?
My understanding is it would just come to the county.
Any questions? Alright, all those in favor signify by aye. Opposed? Moving down to number 21, Russ.
Mr. Chairman, all I wanted to do is pull this so John could record me as abstain. Thank you.
You do? Okay, new guy problem here, so just bear with me. On appointments and reappointments. We can hold. Okay. Thank you. Alright, thank you for bearing with me. May I get a motion for the appointments and reappointments as a whole? Motion by Max, second by Greg Mennel. And so Russ is the full 21, and
I wanna abstain for my appointment.
Can we just go ahead and, we'll just mark every board member as abstaining from their individual, what does that say?
Great. I need a motion for that, John?
No.
Okay, thanks.
any questions regarding them? And all those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That. And moving down to unfinished business. I think, actually, you will talk about it. Okay. With some of the stuff that had happened in the last couple of days with the memo from the federal government on the grants and the different things like that, I know that Mike and Mindy and them have worked really hard just to kind of see how that might affect, they've got a little bit of update in case something like that would happen or we would be asking, so Mike, let's speak to you for a second.
Yes, there was a, executive order put on for us today on a lot of the grants, and, that was yesterday, it has been, retracted now. So we were quickly looking at the number of grants we have, and, certainly having to correct me if I have the numbers wrong, but we have a little over 4 million worth of grants across the entire organization. Certainly the bulk of that comes from the health department, which is, I believe, closer to 3 million. So at this point, like I said, it has, been pulled as far as the executive order, but, we'll push out some more information as far as each individual department and how much federal grants we have. We'll also push out how much state grants, so if the state were to get, less funding from the federal government, then that could also potentially impact state grants, so we'll push out some additional information on that as well.
If nothing else, on to new business. Nothing under it. Review of the approved bills, everybody's been seeing them weekly. The reason I would like to have that being done, I appreciate you all bearing with it, is so that you are responsible for these bills. I want everybody to know what's being paid, so I included that policy and sent out as to how to, if you have questions, go to Mindy or find out what's going on with them. So thank you for that. And motion to approve the February 25th calendar of meetings. Given by Max,